If you could have a listening device at just one place in America right now, or be a fly on the wall in just one room, for me it would be the RNC spring meeting kicking off today in Florida. Springtime in Florida. It's the last major gathering of GOP officials and delegates ahead of what's expected to be a crazy convention in Cleveland. And while that's happening, the GOP senator whose job it is to get fellow Republicans elected is telling some of his colleagues, stay away. Do not come to the convention. And lots of Republican bigwigs have already said that there will be no shows at the convention. The Mississippi Senator Roger Wicker telling the Hill newspaper, Cleveland is the last place Republicans in tough races want to be, especially if there's going to be what he calls a brouhaha over the nominee. And Senator John McCain apparently agrees. The 2008 presidential nominee says, no thanks, not me. I'll be somewhere else, not at that convention for the first time in years. House Speaker Paul Ryan is pushing his colleagues the other way. He's like, show up. It's your party. You should be here. Come to Cleveland. Cleveland is lovely in the middle of the summer. Oh, wait, that's not his argument. Speaker Ryan will be the convention chairman, so he'll have to oversee the whole thing. Jeb Bush says he won't be there either. Let's bring in Shelby Holliday, senior video reporter for the Wall Street Journal. There are divisions all over this party, and now there's a division over whether people inside the party should even come to the party.
Should even show up, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's just a major conflict of interest here. On one hand, you have Speaker Paul Ryan saying, this is our party, you've got to be here. As you said, you got to take responsibility for what goes down in Cleveland. On the other hand, you have these incumbent Republicans who want to keep their jobs. And the convention to them represents sort of a double-edged sword. One edge of the sword is Donald Trump is the nominee. They go to the convention, they risk upsetting donors, upsetting voters. They risk looking like they're supporting a candidate that maybe their constituents don't like. And the other edge of the sword is a contested convention. Messy, ugly, big floor fights. They might not want to be a part of that either. So they do have, I mean, some of them are hedging it, and I think it's kind of funny. They say maybe we'll be there, probably not. But it's shaping up to be, just even the talk about the contested convention is contested.
Jeb Bush says no.
Jeb Bush says no.
What about Marco Rubio?
I think Marco Rubio might be waiting to hear what the rules are.
Right.
If he could possibly be on the ballot, he will definitely be there.
So the downside is just guilt by association?
Well, it could be personal choice. John McCain has had no shortage of criticism for some of these candidates. Cruz, Trump, who are likely to be on the ballot. It could be they don't want to upset donors, or they don't want to upset their constituents. Or it is a valid excuse that they want to be campaigning during this week because they have a seat to win.
Unless there's any more weirdness, it comes down to Cruz and Trump. If Trump gets it on the first ballot, then he gets it. If he doesn't get it on the first ballot, then it looks like it's Cruz. And remember, it was Lindsey Graham who said the difference between Cruz and Trump is the difference between being shot and poisoned. Either way, you're dead.
Right.
I mean, that's up there with criticism.
And a lot of these incumbent candidates, establishment candidates, feel like that. They just don't want to be associated.
What's happening in this meeting now? I mean, what can we know that's happening? They're trying to get everybody on one page?
Well, they're talking about the rules. I brought, in a normal year, this little packet of rules would be a snooze.
Yeah.
It'd be very boring. This year, these matter. Every single word in the rules matter. However, this is a very important meeting. They're important people. They're experienced. They might be part of the establishment. They are not all powerful. They do not have the power to change the rules. What they're actually doing is proposing changes. They are suggesting ideas for ways the rules might be changed. But the rules won't actually be changed until a week before the convention, and that's a convention made up of delegates. Totally different group of people. There's a little overlap.
But Reince Priebus seems to be saying, we're not changing anything right now because the white-hot lights are up, the spotlights are on us, and we don't want anybody to look like we're playing favorites here.
Right. There's
at least not today.
Right. At least not today. And keep in mind, they've been talking about this for months and months and months. So we're not likely to see any major groundbreaking changes right now. And I was actually speaking to Morton Blackwell. He's a guy who's been involved in the rules for decades.
Yeah.
And he says because Reince Priebus has so much support and has a majority behind him, what he says is probably going to go, and that means no big rule changes. But there are ideas and proposals, and you never know what's happening in those side meetings.
And there is tomorrow, the side meetings.
Meetings.
Better place to be that fly on the wall. Shelby Holliday from Wall Street Journal, thanks.